All right, welcome back to my shop. I've got a couple of small orders in for things that I don't have on the shelf, which means like Nag Champa. I've got Nag Champa oil over here, but I don't have any candles made up. So I just figured might as well make a short video on how to do a small batch. Which if you wanted to make your own candles, you know, be a lot cheaper. Um, but you wind up actually spending about the same amount of money, you know. So by time, depending on like what you're doing, by the time you got the equipment to melt your wax and pour your wax and mold everything and or get the containers, um, you know, even if it's a glass container, you're going to wind up spending about the same amount of money, but then you're going to get more enjoyment because you made something yourself. So, that's kind of what a hobby is all about. Anyway, um, so that's how kind of it started off for me as a hobby that I thought later on could bloom into, a profitable business. But anyway, so what we have right here actually in my old crock pot, which is um, not exactly what I started with. Like years ago, I actually started with a double boiler type idea, and I wound up using coffee cans um, to hold the wax, and then have a pot of boiling water I would put the coffee can into. And, I'd have a little wire thing in the bottom of the pot, so it would be a double boiler. But that just kind of got, and I was also back then I was using paraffin wax, which I've totally stopped using um, because paraffin is a petroleum byproduct. I don't know. It just, I mean, there's a lot of things that I liked about it. I liked working with it, but soy wax, all natural, and by that, of course, a lot of things. I've heard the argument of, even cobra venom is all natural, but it's not necessarily good for you. But anyway, I think soy is good. It's a renewable source, and it's actually an energy source because it's wax and you burn it. So anyhow, so I've got 1 pound of wax melted, and so that's good for 4 4-ounce candles, um, or 2 4-ounce candles, and then you know 10. But I don't have any 2-ounce cans right now, so let's just grab a couple of cans real quick. All right. How about I just use my multi-tool? I just grabbed a box of cans off the shelf. So we're going to open this up and grab 4 cans. In fact, I might even do some votives. I got some votive glass here. I might, just do a little votives for, because I've got a pound of wax and then 4 cans is going to be 16 ounces. I've already got 16 ounces of wax. I still have to add 1 to 1.5 ounces of fragrance oil. And I'm probably going to condition the wax. I'll probably condition the wax with grapeseed oil or something. Or maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Well, because, if you, like 100% soy wax is very granular. It's like, I don't know, it's got a weird powdery consistency to it. But if you add like vegetable oil, or just about any kind of vegetable oil or vegetable seed oil, you're gonna have it's gonna just be a nicer consistency, so when it's going to burn better, it's going to have a nice, smooth, even melted pool of wax, which is great for releasing fragrance. Um, you know, so, and that's the thing about it's really hard, to get this soy wax. A lot of soy waxes, especially the pure, and the purists are going to say, oh, well, it's 100% pure soy wax, but um, that may not necessarily always get the burn effect that I want. So I'm, I feel licensed. I have license as I'm making the candles here to use a botanical or plant-based. So if I add this to the wax and it makes it smoother and burn better and release the fragrance better, then I'm going to use it. How much of it I use is my secret, and I gotta like you before I tell you all my secrets. All right, so I got the cans. I gotta set up some wicks, and I'll be right back. We're gonna add some fragrance and color, if we're gonna do color, to the wax. I'll be right back. All right. Well, I'm back here. I'm just working on the wicks here. I got to get the wicks set real quick. So, the old routine. Just using the little wick piston here. At least that's what I'm calling it. I'm not even sure what exactly to call it. But, get the rest of these all set up. But the fragrance, so what I've just... Some of these oils are getting really expensive now, and some of them are hard to find. So what I do is I use this little scale, which is fairly accurate, so I can, best bang for your buck, so I don't waste oil, because I do have a tendency to over fragrance everything, and why do that when you don't have to? Especially some of these fragrances are really strong. So unless if you live in a small apartment, it's gonna kind of overwhelm the entire apartment. Of course, if you live in a big house, you want a small candle with a lot of punch, But anyway, so everybody's got their own preference. Anyhow, that's just my philosophy thing, neither here nor there. So what we're going to do is we've got the got some cans already wicked here, and we're just going to measure out some of the oil. And here, so we got a little measuring cup, and we're going to measure out some of the fragrance oil, and we're going for 1.4 ounces. So 1.4 ounces, and we'll just start pouring now. So now you get 1.27. I guess I should be holding the camera. 1.277, a little bit more. 1.37. Okay, that's close enough. And anyhow, so that way we have there, I'll just put that over there for now, and that way we have the fragrance for it. And now we want to check the temperature of the wax, because for the fragrance oil to infuse with the wax, pretty thoroughly, or at least thoroughly enough, you're still going to want to set it up for a cure time. So anyway, unless it's going to be sitting on a shelf somewhere, which I've got plenty over there. But we're looking for a temperature of like 180 degrees. Fahrenheit, and we're there. We're 190, 195, 200. So now it's 200, and then because as soon as I take it off the heat, it's going to start cooling down pretty quick. Um, and that'll give me time to put the little popsicle sticks on the helicopter. Right, the wick assembly here. But now the question is, are we going to dye the wax? And I do like to dye the wax for, so I can see sometimes without sticking my nose in somebody's candle. Just look at it and make sure it is what it says it is, and I have the label on the bottom and everything. But sometimes just seeing a blue candle, and I know that, well, I don't have any right now, but if I had a blue candle, I'd know what it was. So I've got the dye in there now, the fragrance oil in there now, and it's already starting to get to me, because it's pretty overpowering. I've got a whole almost ounce and a half of fragrance oil in the room. So when you light one of these candles, it's going to fragrance your whole house. So imagine what I got now, and everybody above me, because it actually permeates this concrete ceiling somehow. Sure, there's ventilation in here, but I don't know. So Nag Champa, I've made Nag Champa candles before, and I don't know, for some reason I dyed them blue, just because I liked, at the time, I guess I just like the color blue. But I don't know. I don't have to dye it at all. But Nag Champa, I think of earthy. Earthy, I think of brown. Even if it's just a light creamy brown, maybe if I had ivory. I think I do. But you know what? I changed my mind. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go one little drop of brown. Ooh, purple. No, I'm not going to do purple. All right, so just got like one little drop of brown candle dye. There you go. And that would be the recipe. So that way, if I double the recipe, it'll be 2 drops. If I, quadruple the recipe, it's 4 drops, and so on. So I can scale that pretty easily, and then just plug that into my recipe sheet. And then just to give a little color to it, because why not? And it's like the visual and the olfactory together actually are, it works as a team, especially like in anytime you use your nose or your taste buds, your senses, you've got a coordination even with sight, so that if something looks delicious, probably is, it actually affects your perception of how delicious it actually is. But unless you've had my muffins, which are ugly but delicious, anyhow. So I've got the wax all melted here. I just use a little stick to stir that up, and I'd normally go on like a 1 minute, I guess a 1 minute little whistling spree as I stir the wax to get all the dye and fragrance oil all mixed in. And then I'm going from 200 degrees down to 180. So once that's happened, I'll pour it into my measuring, my pouring, measuring, wherever I put it. Where'd I put it? Oh, here it is. Well, that certainly smells good from the last pour. Where's that, Tonka? No, that's apple apples. It's apples and bourbon. All right, so this smells really good. It took a minute to hit that because with this other fragrance oil like permeating the air, my nose is almost shut down. So okay, I can still make out the apples there, or apples. But I'm going to go ahead and use this cup for these guys to pour that, because all the fragrance is evaporated off of it, so I don't smell it. There's not going to be any cross. So by the time I pour it from the crock pot, now at probably 180, I could check that real quick, to pour it, into the glass. It'll cool down to a pouring temperature of maybe 150. Yeah, it's at like 180 right now. All right, so, and then from that down to 150, all right, and that was a little secret ingredient there. Oh, that smells good. I mean, I like it. It's overpowering, and after you go nose blind for a little bit, it's almost like being snow blind. Just like too much light all at once, too much fragrance it can be overwhelming. So if I don't like a fragrance, I'm not gonna like making it, unless of course it's worth something to you. All right, and I'll be ready to pour that. I just need to get a little oven mitt. I guess I could use my sweater, but this is actually a nice sweater, so I don't want to mess it up. I might have to wear an apron. I'll be right back. All right, well, here we go. Got my apron on. Can't see it right there, but oh yeah. All right, so we're just gonna pour this now. Then actually, I'm gonna go ahead and use my apron here. I'm just gonna pour some of this, or all of this, if it'll fit in this little measuring cup. And let's do like half of it right now. And then this just goes right in here up to the fill line. I try to go like really good into the fill line. Just like that. All right, and then that's it. Then after it hardens up, I just use the scissors to snip the wick, and then see if I need to use the heat gun. We'll show you that later on if I haven't shown you already. All right, so anyhow, I'm just gonna make that all for now, because I'm gonna go ahead and finish these up for a customer, and then we'll talk about the next stage and the ideas. All right, until next time.